What's going on YouTube? This is Jim, and today I want to talk to you guys about Halo 5's brand new beta going on this weekend right now, the Halo 5 Warzone Firefight beta. Now, Warzone was launched with the core edition of the game. There are currently two variants of Warzone, the first being Warzone, in which the whole map is opened up for you to capture and attack points as you see fit, with AI bosses and minions dabbled around the map. You can kill them for some quick points. Sometimes you can kill them and pick up their weapons and use them against other Spartans, but typically the AI isn't too much of a threat on the core set of maps. On Warzone Assault, which is the second in-game variant that is currently live right now, that is purely attack defend. And in that situation, you are purely attacking or defending one point at a time, working your way towards the core, trying to defeat it as an attacker, obviously trying to stop it as a defender. Those two game types are fun, but in both of them, the AI doesn't necessarily play a big role. In Warzone Assault, they're not even AI in there at all, actually. But in the regular Warzone, they're there. Like I said, you can kill them to get some points if you want. For the most part, they're just kind of ancillary. Now, they did kind of tweak this slightly with the Skirmish at Dark Star map, where there's a lot more AI. The map is significantly more dense, and AI does continue to spawn and spawn and spawn, so if you don't kill a boss, you could potentially be somewhat overrun. Not that they would capture your base back, but that they would be a nuisance, and you may not want to go out a certain door because there's 20 or 30 grunts or jackals standing there waiting for you. I don't think it'd be that many, but you get my point. It's definitely more of a threat, and I do like that that is the direction it's going in. And when I watched the sprint making of Halo 5, when Halo 5 wasn't out yet, I think, for me at least, I thought Warzone would be more like that. I thought Warzone would have a lot more AI presence, and it would really be human versus AI, and it really didn't pan out that way, although Skirmish at Dark Star is a good attempt at that. Well, they said, okay, forget that. We're going to do a 180. We're going to now add a third game type known as Halo 5 Warzone Firefight. So now you got Warzone, Warzone Assault, and Warzone Firefight. Now, the Firefight is just in a beta. They have extended it one day, I think, to Tuesday, April 19th. Let me check my notes here. Yes, because they had a little bit of launch issues on day one, so you got plenty of time to go in and check it out. In this mode, you are playing with 7 other Spartans, it's your typical 8-man group, fighting against only AI. Now, in the beta right now, you can only play against the map Escape from the ARC, but when this thing launches, you'll be able to play all the regular Warzone maps, not the Assault maps, because the Assault maps are slightly modified from the regular maps, but just a traditional Warzone map. So all those you'll get on this mode. I love it. I really do love it. There is a lot of tension in how you have to kind of work your way through the objectives. There's 5 objectives in each simulation. If you beat all 5 objectives, good job, you win the game. You have 5 minutes to complete each objection. I think maybe it's 5 or 6. I think it's 5 minutes to complete each objective. As an objection, I don't want to kill any more aliens. Well, you have to. There's 5 objectives that you need to take care of, and they're totally random. Some of them are really, really fun, like defend the garage from an onslaught of AI. So basically, you're in the garage. You are now the defender as waves and waves and waves of AI come pouring in through all the doors, through the top hole, through the sides. It's very, very intense, and you have to defend. As long as one Spartan is alive inside that zone, they cannot capture it. But in traditional Warzone rules, if everybody's dead, the ticker starts going, and once it's gone, it's over, Jack, and the game is over. That's a really, really fun event that could happen. Sometimes Tank Master Rock will show up. You got to take him out. Now, what's cool about some of the boss fights like that, Word Eternal makes an appearance at sometimes he doesn't. Sometimes you have to fight a pack of elite enemies. The objective is to kill, like let's use Tank Master Rock, for example. The objective is to kill him. But it's not just him sitting on the beach with 1 or 2 supports like he was on the regular Warzone. No, he's got a whole army with him. So there's tons of jackals and grunts and elites in the front. There's banshees flying overhead that are dropping support. It's a lot of fun. There's definitely a lot more emphasis put on really fighting your way in. And yes, people will say, oh, I'm just going to grab my fuel rod cannon. I'm going to go end this fight. I'm going to run in there right now. And hey, good for you if you can do it. But the reality is you have to chip your way through it. And that's where the timer really starts to come into play, is you really have to take your time working through the miniature like AI, you know, to get to like the big boss fight at the end. And since they're constantly respawning, it's not like you could just systematically sit there and snipe everybody and slowly walk your way in. They're constantly dropping in new waves of reinforcements. Drop ships are constantly flying in. It really does have that big fight feel to it. And I think that was something that was really missing from the original Warzone mode. Although, like I said, Skirmish of Dark Star does start to dabble in the right direction, in my opinion. It's not really until this mode you really get that emphasis of like, wow, these guys are out there. These guys are tough. There's knights out there. There's elites out there. It's very, very tough, and I like it. Just like with the regular Warzone mode, you can utilize your requisition packs if you'd like. You earn experience and you start unlocking level 1, 2, 3, 4, just like you do in the regular Warzone game, except you're only using your burn cards now against AI. And I think it's kind of designed that you almost need to. I'm sure there's some really good players out there who could just take everything out with just your standard arsenal of assault rifles and BRs and SMGs and that sort of thing. But I found towards the end you really did need to pull in some heavy armor, whether it be a Scorpion or Wraith or your own Banshee, to do some dogfights against the AI. Ghosts are really, really handy to just kind of clear out some of the trash on the low levels. But yeah, you can use your cards for that, and as you kill things, you get individual points, which is cool. And then at the end, it ranks it, and it tells you if you won the map, hey, everybody wins, congratulations, you're a winner. But requisition points are doled back out depending on the rank you're in. So if you're the #1 guy, you're going to get a lot more than everyone else. Unfortunately, the kill shot rules are still in effect. So if you're standing there wailing on a boss and somebody comes by and hits him once with a pistol and it happens to be the last shot, well, he gets the points, not you. But you know what? It's really a camaraderie type thing, but it's friendly competition in a sense. I mean, you really want to succeed and you really want to help each other out, and it's fun when you get in vehicles and you all start working your way through objectives. So I really like it. I think it's a great supplement to the existing Warzone or Warzone Assault maps that are currently on the playlist. No official release date has been yet announced for this beta when it's going to go live. It'll obviously be in the next drop, whatever that's going to be, whenever that's going to be. But it's not all roses either. I told you all the things I love about it, and those are some of the things I love. I love the never-ending wave of AI. I love the camaraderie that comes into the game. I like how the different AI is put on the map that you wouldn't normally see in different places. The Defend, the Garage in particular, is, I think, such an amazing game mode that's really, really a lot of fun. It reminds me of Horde mode from Gears of War 3, and I'm a huge Gears fan, so of course I'm going to like that. But like I said, there's a couple things that aren't all roses with it. #1, I'm not a huge fan that I feel like you have to use Rex in order to succeed. You are put in impossible odds. I mean, you will be facing off against waves and waves and waves of enemies, and it really does take power weapons to burn them down. And power weapons in of themselves aren't so bad. You know, like a carbine could be considered a power weapon, maybe even like a fuel rod cannon, or maybe even a rocket launcher or Hydra or something like that. But I feel like you really need heavy vehicles towards the end to win. It's really hard to beat some of those last bosses without having a tank or a Wraith or a Banshee really doing just ground patrol, just wiping out some of the peon enemies so that the rest of the Spartan team can get up and really engage with enemy forces. So I feel like it's kind of like, hey, we're going to let you have this cool mode, but you better use Rex if you want to win. It's kind of a little odd in that sense. Also, it's kind of weird that right now you have 3 Pelicans flying in, and in the cutscene there are 6 Spartans and 1 Pelican. I don't know if that means there's 1 Spartan and 1 Pelican and 1 in the other, or it's empty. I'm sure they'll fix it, but it'd be nice if they changed up that introduction scene. And I think this really calls into light that the introduction scene that we've seen now for quite some time would be cool if it had some different variants to it. I'm not going to complain too much about that either. And some of the objectives, some of the modes, they don't seem to be as standardized. I would like if The difficulty was almost set. Maybe like wave 1, 3, and 5 were harder and 2 and 4 were easier. I don't care how they do that, but defending the garage, in my opinion, is one of the toughest ones to do. Taking out one of the bosses, especially if they're out in the open field, like Warden Eternal typically spawns over by the crane, and he's just standing out in the open. I mean, you could snipe him from pretty much anywhere. I don't really see that as such a hard fight. It would be nice if 343 took a step back and analyzed which ones are more of the harder ones and which ones are the easier ones, and maybe kind of tried to balance that, because there are some modes where it's like, man, like we're doing really hard objective and we can't get past like wave 2 or 3. And there's sometimes I play and it's a cakewalk all the way through, and it's like this wasn't even a challenge at all. I do appreciate the diversity. I do not want them to be standardized at all and saying, okay, every single time this is the order of operations in which you're going to compete, but it would be nice if there was some more weight associated with that so they could do a better job of balancing that out. I do like one thing I forgot to mention, then I'm going to shut up and go play some more because it's so damn fun. You can actually use your own individual Spartan colors, so very similar to the free-for-all mode where you can come dressed as you want. You can be hot pink and blue, you can be whatever you want, and that does apply to Warzone Firefight as well. So now I'm rocking the hot what am I? I'm green and purple right now. Green and purple, and I got a really cool helmet that looks like a shark. Looks like a shark head helmet, and that's a lot of fun. So customize your Spartan. You can actually see the arm color. You're not just red and blue anymore, and I like that. I think that's a cool touch. So just my thoughts on that. I just wanted to throw out my opinion on it because I'm a huge Halo guy, and how can I not talk about something as major as this huge beta going on right now, going on through Tuesday, April 19th. So if you have not yet had a chance to go check out Halo Firefight, the beta, I highly recommend you do so, and tell me what you think. As always, I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I will see you guys on the other side.